Yeah, check me. We live in our phones, but what if we can make them? Got every app in the world, where's the participation? Looking for representation. Don't overlook the pavement, Silicon Valley was patient. So join the movement, we ain't got too much time to be wasted. I said it's deeper than cold. Vibe with me, yeah, it's deeper than cold.
Hey guys, and welcome to Deeper Than Code. We are here with Big Papa Code, and this is season 2, episode 1. I am Shelby.
I'm Chrissy.
And what are we talking about today?
Well, today what we're talking about is we're talking about the way that the world is going to be changing over the next, about 8 years. From now, as we film this, is 2024, and in 2032, there's going to have taken place a large demographic shift, large technological shifts. And as a result of all that, we have to prepare ourselves to live in that new world and also prepare ourselves to be able to, affect change in it. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Okay, and what does that look like for the average person in the next 8 years? What does that look like?
Well, if you think about it this way, and we think back to, let's say, 1999, the world was completely different in 1999.
It was amazing.
And then just think about 8 years later, what it looked like in 2007. It looked like a completely different world. And how fast things are changing is getting faster. Like the difference between 1 year to next year is changing at an exponential rate. And this is going to be one of the first times that there's going to be a large demographic shift at the same time. So the average person has to, understand that what they've known is not going to be what's around in the next decade.
So should we be scared?
I was literally just about to say that.
Should we be scared? I mean, the truth is, yes, you should. A healthy fear is a good thing because there's a lot of things that literally could change your whole entire world. In terms of how fast we are making advances with AI, in terms of the geopolitical changes around the world, the end of the petrodollar, all these different things compounding. The world is going to be different. So definitely there should be some fear, but you are able to front run it enough if you do something about it now where you'll be in a good place in 2032 and you'll be prepared for whatever is going to be in front of you.
And how do we prepare for that?
Oh, that's a long question.
Okay,
but good. We have a long time to be here, right?
Right.
So one of the first things, if we're going to talk about what we should do to prepare, let me set a stage for a second. If I step back for a moment, when we think about how you should prepare, you also have to think about what age you'll be at that time and what stage of your life you're going to be at that time. How should somebody who's 10 years old prepare for that? Well, only their parents can really prepare them, but they should learn certain skills that we never had to learn when we were younger. It's not going to be a question of, do you need to know how to use a computer? If you don't know how to use a computer, that's going to be ridiculous. If you don't know how to, leverage AI and things of that nature, it's going to be, difficult for you as well, just because of, like I said, all these things that are occurring. So, and then when it comes to somebody who's more or less, say, my age, you have to think about, because I'm 36, so at that time I'll be 44. So I'll be in the prime time where you're supposed to be, accumulating your wealth for the next generation. You need to invest things in a certain way with a certain eye for the way the world's going to look. So you have to all those things considered. And everybody in between, somebody who's more 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, they should be thinking about, well, I still need to be working at that time. I need to be, effective at work. I need to make sure that I have skills that aren't necessarily AI replaceable. I need to have skills that allow me to be able to, survive in the new world that exists. So
basically, don't get left behind.
100% don't get left behind.
So are corporations going to still be a big thing in 2032? So you saying have all of these skills, but we have people that go to college and learn all of these things, get degrees. Will they still be useful in 2032?
Well, that's an interesting question about education, but will degrees still be a thing? Of course, degrees will still be a thing, and people are still going to be going to college. There's a question if college is effective now at all.
Yeah.
I won't. I'll save that for some other time to unpack that. But
Because I don't think so.
we're kind of aligned on that. We're kind of aligned, but
Ruffling some feathers over here now a little early. Sheesh. Okay.
it depends on what you learn when you go. It's not really because you don't really need to learn. There's a lot of stuff that could I learn it from a YouTube video, and I don't even need to go to college.
Absolutely.
Yes, there's a lot of things that there's a lot of benefits you get from going to college that you don't get for otherwise, like meeting people, having certain social interactions, etc.
The connections.
That you'll meet if you go to the right school, etc. But I mean, if you go to, I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but if you go to like random online school and you don't meet anybody anyway,
Education, connection.
so, I mean,
You could low-key meet somebody at like Target who can change your life.
Yeah.
you
That part.
100% can. I've met a couple people that way.
And those are actually
Not
like
sponsored by Target.
Yes, those are the best connections. Like when you meet people randomly, those are the best connections. But yeah.
Well, I have some questions.
Yeah, sure.
Let's get to it. Unpack.
I'm starting at one, right?
Yeah, you're one.
Okay. Should we intro this though? This is the aluminum question.
The aluminum question. How do we even intro into that?
So we can ask, like, are there some sources that we use now in the world that are not going to be beneficial in 8 years?
Okay, yes. You say that though.
Okay,
That
well.
makes so much sense.
Ooh, see, that's why you here.
Yes,
Listen,
Charlamagne. Oh wait, no, Angela Yee.
Yeah, I'm Angela Yee. So are there any like sources that we use nowadays that aren't going to be, well, I guess resources that we use nowadays that aren't going to be sourced in 8 years? How did I fucking question it?
Or not going to be beneficial.
Yeah, okay, boom, okay, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so, and we're back. Okay, cool. So are there any resources that we use now that are not going to be beneficial in like the next 8 years?
Plenty. There's definitely going to be plenty of things that are not going to be useful in the next 8 years because of technological shifts.
People.
Hopefully not. That would be bad. And, then we'd have a dystopia and that'd be a whole nother thing.
That
So-
just scared me. We need people.
That should scare you.
Life is scary.
Life is scary, especially
Resources.
right now.
No, I need my people. I love my people. I love my family. Christine, what would I do without you? Exactly. We need our people. Go ahead, please.
100%.
Like we need our people. How would I like interact and talk to people? Like
Exactly. Well, let me give you an example. So an example of something that has drastically shifted. If you think back like thousands and thousands of years, you probably might have heard this story from Pliny the Younger. Or was it the Elder? Who knows? We'll Google it after. But one of them two, one of those two, they recounted a story where there was this guy came into the throne room of some Emperor Tiberius, I think it was, and he had this new shiny metal. And he basically would say like this new shiny metal can change the world, blah 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 blah, all this stuff like that because it's so malleable, all the stuff like that. And Tiberius knew that that emperor knew that that this new metal and all would actually mess up all of his economic stuff because he had all this wealth tied up in silver and gold and iron. So there was this new metal that came up that you were able to just abundantly just find and could supplant all the stuff he has that would ruin his wealth. So he basically made an executive decision, and killed that guy and anybody that was around that heard about knew about that metal. So this way it would get lost and nobody would be able to deal with it. And that might be where some of the alchemist, legends come from. Because what he did is there's clay that's just in the earth called bauxite. And inside of it, there's aluminum, which is a metal we're all used to using now. But back in the day, aluminum was super scarce because most of the time, because how it likes to deal with oxygen or whatever, it's normally in bauxite. So you have to extract it out of bauxite. And he knew how to do that. So he could just get aluminum whenever the heck he wanted.
So are we making aluminum now? Because now you can just buy them in
we're not making it. We found out in the 1800s how to actually extract aluminum out of bauxite. And so, and then eventually we learned how to mass produce it. The Napoleon II, he used to there was a time when aluminum was worth more than gold, and because it was hard to get it.
Aluminum?
Yes, aluminum. So
aluminum foil?
Yes, aluminum was worth more than gold, but because so much of it ended up, showing up eventually, it became worth nothing. So the reason why I say that is because, you know, the technology is what allows us to pull that pull the aluminum out of bauxite and made it become ubiquitous that anybody can use it. And, you know, if you think about even more recently, like, you know, plasma TVs and LCD TVs, there was a point like in the 2000s where like if you had one of those, they were thousands of dollars.
Yeah, because like we had box TVs back in the day. Like you got the TV, they got the big thing in the back of it. Now flat screens are like, used to be top-notch shit. It's top-notch stuff.
And now you go in and just like, you know what, like $100 you can get like a Roku TV or something.
Absolutely. And it could be over a 32-inch too.
Mm-hmm.
TVs are just so cheap because now you got like the TCLs and all that stuff.
You know, all the TV nonsense.
Ovals. It's crazy stuff.
Well, all that relates to your question because, you know, you asked like, you asked resources. I'm tripping.
Yeah. That was fine. Yeah. So yeah, I asked the resource question. So
we look alike.
But specifically what I'm saying is like there's things that are ubiquitous now that are going to not be that is not ubiquitous now. That's going to be like everywhere in 2032 because like certain things that we're paying thousands and thousands of dollars for, if you start to watch some trends, eventually they're going to be
worth nothing,
worth a whole lot less because it's going to be a whole lot cheaper to deal with them. Especially because like every couple years, like we are able to do more and more. With computing power. So things that like, you had, cell phones that my cell phone has a terabyte on it now, right?
What the heck is that?
That's how much a terabyte is 1,000 gigabytes.
Oh, so like gigabytes. So you got 1 TB.
Yeah, so you got 1 TB.
I have 2 TBs on my phone. I got a what is that?
You have 2 TBs?
You got 2 terabytes?
Yeah, I have 2 terabytes on my phone.
This
really?
Back in the day,
on my iCloud, I have 2 terabytes.
Oh, I have it on my iCloud, not on my phone.
Not on my phone. No. On my iCloud, you have it on your phone?
On my phone. My phone has 1 TB.
Oh, no,
he literally got that biggest one.
Yes, but I'm saying
your
like
phone was $3,000.
No, it wasn't. That's what I'm saying. Like it gets cheaper to do that. Like pretty soon our phones will have 50 TB and that'll be normal, right? Like these numbers that seem like gigantic to us now. Remember, there was 56K modems. If a modem had 56K today, it'd be like ridiculous.
Some people are hoarders of information.
Yeah.
Because why would you need all that space?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Just the same way I need it on my computer. So now I got it on my phone. I can't never run out of space.
Now it's all accessible. So I have a question.
Uh-huh.
So with this big shift in the economy and the job market, who's going to come out on top?
Who's going to come out on top? The person that's people that are most prepared. People that at the end of the day are watching what is occurring. People that are learning artificial intelligence.
People who are watching this podcast.
People that are watching this podcast. Oh, I like that. Nice point.
Hi, guys!
But yeah, people that are also understanding that, we're not going to be able to live the way, our predecessors did, where they could just like work at one company for 40 years, stay there. They're going to have like a super mega retirement pension package and then ride off into the sunset.
So like that's not going to happen?
No.
That's not going to happen unless you do it yourself.
In the next 8 years, that's not going to happen?
No,
people are not going to be able to do that because at the end of the day, it's a little bit mathematically impossible because the baby boomer generation is so gigantic. They're all going to retire and
they wiped out our Social Security.
Yeah, start sucking away all of that, and so you're going to have to set that stuff up yourself. Unfortunately.
So wait.
And also, a lot of times where there's, what are you about to say?
No, I was going to say like the people that are like in jobs now, like so say someone like a millennial has been in their career for like 6 years now since they graduated college. They're going to still be there in 8 years. So the money they're accumulating now, like in their 401k, is going to be nothing in the next 8 years.
No, 401k, that's you.
That's you.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Your company's not going to pay you a pension.
Oh,
which most of us at this stage know. So I mean that whole scenario is not going to work out well. If you're hoping that Social Security and your pension and all stuff like that's going to be what sustains you. Especially with the inflation rate, et cetera. So
prepare the others, make other plans, basically.
For sure, but that's crazy. Like we need to figure out a way how to like bring inflation down. Cause things are so expensive right now.
Things are expensive. They're only going to get more expensive. I mean, think about like when my uncle used to tell me that he used to go to the movies with a quarter, and he'd be able to take his girlfriend on the date and get popcorn and 2 hot dogs and
with 1 quarter.
With 1 quarter.
What year was this? 55?
In like the 60s.
This was in 55. This has to be in the 50s.
No,
like,
it's like the early, like late 50s, maybe early 60s.
But I feel like inflation is going up, but like our income is going down. Kind of like they not meeting. It's like our inflation and income they don't know each other right now, and it's going to only get worse.
It's 100% going to potentially get worse.
For some,
sell drugs.
For some, not for everyone.
Sell drugs.
You said sell drugs. Sell drugs.
Sell drugs. What? Listen, you did not hear me say that. It's crazy. So like, I was talking about income. Like,
they're not doing well either, though. But that's neither here nor there.
You said what?
People who sell drugs, they're not selling anymore either. Well.
But because we're talking about income, like what's T on like cryptocurrency? Like what's that like? Like as far as like Bitcoin and stuff like that. So they used to have like Bitcoin machines like in the gas stations, like So is that like what is that like for us?
Pause for a second. Should I share something about like personal about Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I'm afraid if I share it, then it's like I don't want to come.
So I'm going to tell you this though. So while on podcast, this is like. Now you're creating a family, not just us, but the people that's going to watch you. Like you're creating a family. And it's somebody that feels this way, whatever you're about to express, they might be going through the exact same thing and they might need your opinion on it. I've told all my business. I mean, not all of it, but you know.
You did definitely say a lot of business in that last one.
I said I got evicted on like for a million people to like see it. Like that's nobody will ever think that. You know,
it's a safe space.
It's
just the internet.
It's just the
internet.
We don't care about what anybody has to say. Yeah. This is a safe space.
I got you.
We don't promote bullying. Like, and with us being on here, like our cousins are gonna watch this and they know that we don't fucking like.
We don't play.
We don't play that shit
at all.
I like it. I hope we got all that, right?
We got all that. That's all on camera. That's all on camera.
Okay, verbal agreements.
So, back to the Bitcoin question. Bitcoin specifically. I like Bitcoin. I'm more of a bigger Ethereum person, but that's a whole nother.
How do you pronounce that again?
Ethereum.
Yeah,
that's a whole nother thing. But Bitcoin, at the end of the day, if not for Bitcoin, like I'd be effed up right now.
Yeah.
Because I was able to, because Bitcoin was able to let me. And I own a house now, and I have like 2 acres, and it's like a 4,000 square foot ish house. Or whatever, and I got the down payment and all that stuff like that from crypto.
What? Wait, what? You were able to purchase a home off cryptocurrency?
Oh, down payment.
A down payment.
And pay my mortgage like a regular human being, but I mean, like I needed money and stuff like that to pay for certain pieces, and also the house was like needed work when I got it, so I had to like fix it up.
Yeah, of course.
So I got it with equity inside of it because I bought it kind of messed up, and then we fixed it. But yeah, so
cryptocurrency, that's pretty dope.
But I mean, honestly, you don't have to think that hard about Bitcoin. Really, it's as simple as buy some and then don't lose it. Because it's going to Bitcoin every 4 years goes through like this 4-year cycle. Because every 4 years there's this thing called the halvening that happens where they have the Bitcoin block reward that you get from when you mine cryptocurrency. It's not that important, but unless you want to be a miner, which costs thousands of dollars at this point, you can't just be a miner and, not spend a lot of money. You need a whole like studio like this to mine Bitcoin and make money. Like you could, this is enough space, not giving anybody any ideas, but this is enough space to like really do something.
Really?
If you wanted to, but.
So what's the realty? What should we be looking out for?
Like, what should you be looking out for? You should.
And like crypto.
Well, like I said, specifically, just buy Bitcoin and sit on it. You don't have to do anything else. There's nothing else to do with it.
How much is Bitcoin?
So it doesn't matter how much it is. Right now, it's like in the 60,000s. But you don't have to buy a full coin. You just go buy $10 worth. If you got Cash App, you can buy Bitcoin. Because on Cash App, there's a part on it to go. I'll show you right now.
I'm literally about to say, I actually think I have money in Bitcoin on Cash App. And I've actually purchased some stocks and stuff on here before. Where do I see that shit at?
You got to click the, let me see.
Boom, here it is. So, I have $26 in Bitcoin right now.
Just click that button right there and buy more. And keep doing that.
But look, I have $26.30 on Bitcoin.
Let me put it this way. Every single time I said anything about Bitcoin, I've been right every single time. And it's not that hard to be right because if you just have enough information. So when I first heard about Bitcoin, me and my wife were like newly married and I was in the military and I was like freelance web development on the side and I was like mad broke. Like I didn't know how much money you don't make in the military until like I finally like went through training and all that stuff like that. And they started showing me my check and they were like, oh yeah, you make $1,300 a month. I was like, wait. $1,300 a month.
And my life is on the line?
Like, it's more than that now. I think it's like $2,000 a month. But I mean,
what? And my life is on the line? Who do I call?
Brand new seaman recruit in the Navy or private in the Army or whatever. Yeah, you make like McDonald's money.
That's why veterans are so upset sometimes.
We are.
Like, who do we talk? Like, we'll get into that on another time, but what?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, that's where you start from. So I was like, yep, I'm going to have to do some on the side, which was web developing. So I built websites for people and stuff like that. And that's why I kept getting better at it. And then also I heard from this dude, which I can't really co-sign like how, if he's a grifter or not or whatever. I think he has seemed pretty good over the years, but I never bought anything from him to find out.
Yeah.
You just see a guru over and over again and they keep just being around.
Yeah.
So like this guy, his name was Mike Dillard, right? And he's still around. He still does stuff. And he was talking about the greatest wealth transfer in history, right? And I was like, okay, this sounds like some BS.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm real poor, and I don't have anything else to do right now.
Right.
So while I'm on watch, which I shouldn't have been doing, which is against the rules, I should have got kicked out of the military for doing that, but I watch shows on watch all the time.
He made it out, y'all.
I made it. It's too late. They can't get me now.
Yeah.
I've been out for too long.
Hey,
so while I'm on watch, I would have my little thing up or whatever, and I got together $67 to buy his little thing where he talked for like hours and hours and hours about the greatest wealth transfer in history.
Yeah.
Right? And he talked about a bunch of crap that I was like, I'm not rich enough to do any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a waste of $67. I can't do any of it. So maybe he is a scammer. I don't freaking know. But
did you benefit anything from
But
this?
I benefited
Okay, well,
from it.
then
So
he's not a
clearly,
scammer. Mike Dillard, you're not a scammer.
Yeah, matter of fact, Mike Dillard, if you see this.
Yeah, you're not a scammer.
Even though your stuff should have been free on YouTube.
Yeah, that too.
At that time,
because how long ago this was about? How many?
It was 2010.
But YouTube was definitely a thing.
Make me sound old
I graduated high school in 2010. That was a long time ago. I get it.
I was an adult.
It's almost my 20-year high school reunion. You said you were doing what?
So I was an adult with a kid in 22. I mean, in 2010.
Oh yeah, no, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, yeah, he was talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as one of the things he was talking about. He's talking about this thing. He talked about gold and silver. He talked and how you could store it and do whatever. And he talked about Bitcoin. He talked about a couple other cryptocurrencies that aren't around anymore, but the main one he's talking about was Bitcoin. He talked about that infinite banking stuff that everybody's always talking about. But he talked about it. This was back then before everybody else got a hold of it or whatever.
So this was valuable information.
Yeah, it was valuable information.
This was crazy.
He talked about a lot of different things. And he also specifically started to talk about the difference between the generations. I never had heard that before. Right? So he started talking about that. And then he referenced a whole bunch of people that you should, start to pay attention to about what they're researching. And he kept singing the praises of a couple of, Silicon Valley people to pay attention to. So he opened my mind to a lot of that stuff. He's like one of those things where he doesn't give you enough information to take any action.
Oh, okay.
But he plants a seed.
Seed is planted.
Seed is planted. And look, now you're a tomato tree.
A tomato tree.
Yeah, get it? Because you can eat and stuff. I don't know. I have another question, though, about Social Security. We kind of talked about it a little bit. What would be the new plan? Like, where will we go then?
You have to do it yourself.
With investing?
With investing, saving, and making smart moves about, about your own personal self. You got to look at yourself as an entity, like a business, almost. Like a lot of those jobs of those thoughts of like, oh, you should work at work for the city or do this or do that. No problem, anybody that does that. But it's actually a lot better to do something where you have a skill, a talent that people need to leverage. Because if you think about like at the gold rush, like the big thing people say is that during the gold rush, most people that got rich were people that sold the picks and the shovels. Like they sold the picks and the shovels so people could go ahead and dig up the gold.
Mm-hmm.
And so
those are who got rich.
That's who got rich. So people that enable people to be able to do those things. Like even, we're sitting in the podcast studio, so I might as well mention that. We're literally in a studio that's here to enable people to be able to speak to their audience or whatever.
Right.
It's a valuable business because you're enabling people to be able to do their thing. So
my mouth has been open this whole podcast. I'm just like, what the heck? You're dropping a lot of gems. I like this.
I like it a lot.
We probably need to talk about action steps, right?
Yeah. Because my whole thing is like you said, like this word is just, it shakes me up every time I think about it. Saving. I literally just said like our inflation is not meeting our income. Like how does a person save if like the income is not meeting? You know what I'm saying? Like what does saving look like at this point in time?
Well, if your income doesn't keep up, the truth is you can't save. Yeah. Right? So but there is things that can be done to fix that, because I mean, a lot of people that don't have enough money to save, they're not retiring tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
Thank God.
And I guess
I wish I was retiring tomorrow.
I wish, but hey, we got to get it how we live. Jeezy said that.
but the thing you got to look at is, if you look at just the demographics of 2032, we said that we didn't really unpack what it means. If we look right now, the majority of people that are in their earning years or whatever are older millennials, Gen Xers, and the baby
earning
boomers.
Years.
Yeah, the people that's when they're making the most money. Like you're making your most money in your late 30s, early 40s times. So normally that should be.
I would agree with that though. I'm not even there yet, but I know like what's to come when my late 30s, really mid 30s get here. You know what I'm saying? Because like your 20s are just your teens with a little bit of money, but your 30s is like you grown and you get into the bag. Exactly. Just take a little discipline, you know? So I'm here for that.
Exactly. And I mean, and those people that are in those age groups now, in 2032, they're going to be phasing out. Like the baby boomers are 1946 and 1964. Those people are going to be 68 years and older. They're going to be either not working, retired, in nursing homes, passed away, all of those
it happens,
things.
the circle of life.
The circle of life. That's and then also you have the people that are, the Gen Xers are going to be 67, starting to become 67, 65 to 82. So like the oldest of them is going to be 67. And then the younger of them are going to be, in their 50s and stuff like that. So they're going to be starting to phase out as well. So like the majority of the main people working and controlling the economy and controlling the electorate of America are going to be people that all grew up with technology at their fingertips their entire life. From the millennials all the way down to like Gen Alpha. So you had the millennials, basically anybody from 1983 to born after that have all had technology at their fingertips their entire adult life or their entire life.
Yeah. And they will come out ahead.
And it's not that they'll come out ahead. They'll be who's controlling the world. So they're going to have to make, so that group of people, which all of us here happen to be part of, are going to have to decide.
Especially me.
Yes, definitely you. You got to stay here the longest. So, so they're going to have to make decisions about who they're going to vote for, what issues are going to be important in this issue of inflation, this issue of people not having enough money, etc.
Women working
need to be voted for.
Don't forget that.
Yep, women working.
Women working. Add that on the ballot.
And hopefully that won't be as big an issue in 2032, because hopefully that group of people already, are not assholes.
So do you honestly think that women we're going to just be housewives by 2032?
I hope not.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you thought I was saying?
That's what she hoped you were saying. That's what she wants.
I hope for that.
And I rebuke that. Thankfully, I'll be the people in charge.
Oh my goodness, Christina. So boom,
you better get to work.
So with like AI and stuff, like they're taking over finances. Like, what is that gonna like do with the banks and like with our money and stuff?
Like one potential positive with AI with finance is that there's a lot of like there is a lot of bias when it comes to like applying for loans and things of that nature. But the more things are digitized, it takes some of that ability for people to make arbitrary decisions out. You either meet the criteria or you don't meet the criteria. Now with AI can make that easier to figure out if somebody qualifies, but whoever controls the AI still can do whatever it is that they want to do. That's where DeFi comes in, decentralized finance comes in. That's another thing that's related to crypto, but not necessarily 100% crypto. But where decentralized finance is set up in such a way where there's no centralized entity that decides whether or not somebody can participate in financial transactions. Like if I want to go get a loan from Ave Bank, I just go on, I click the thing, and then I just have I either have the stuff, the collateral, or I don't have it. There's no person to talk to. There's not, and it has to act the way that the code is written, and it can't act differently than it, because once it's deployed to the blockchain, it's stuck there, and like it just has to work the way that it was designed, and it can be audited, it can be looked at, etc. AI doesn't have that same level of transparency, but when you pair them together, you can start to create that. You can have like these great algorithms that can decide whether or not you should be getting a $10,000 loan or you shouldn't, and if you should, then you just get it.
So it's not based off credit.
It would be based on credit. That'd be part of the algorithm that they
Oh,
figure
okay.
out.
I'm like,
you're like, okay, AI.
When does that start?
I mean, like, but there's been times where like I've gone to this happened to me 2 times, where I've gone into a place to get money, right, for something I wanted to do, and and I put my actual true zip code when I still lived in the hood or whatever, and automatically, even though I have the same exact all information, I get denied. And then I go and just use a different zip code and go and put the same thing in, and all of a sudden, magically, there's 5 options that I have available to me. Which one do I want to pick? You get what I'm saying? Like that's
not fair. That's not,
that's not fair.
It's not fair. My budget just said switch the zip code next time. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's basically saying that because of where you live, and that could be really a black and white thing too, right? Like,
but car insurance is like that too. Like your car insurance is more expensive depending on like your zip code.
But why should you be more qualified for a loan if you have the same like income, same social security number, like everything? Nothing's different.
I mean,
I'm just using my cousin's address. Like that's
whoever
crazy.
Wrote this blueprint, they didn't want us to be successful.
That's true.
Yeah, but it is true. It is. So what's the success algorithm? And like, how can it change someone's life?
That's an interesting segue. So the success algorithm is
or what is the success algorithm? Let's start there. What's the success algorithm?
It's basically a formula that's put together that, you can look more at inside my book. And I guess we kind of close on this. It's basically the way it's set up is it tries to outline everything that is involved in somebody getting to a specific type of result, which you could say is success.
Okay.
Right? So it's set up, it says that C plus MM, which is C plus mindset, right? C being character, M being mindset. So your character plus your mindset plus specialized knowledge, and put all that in parentheses. Hopefully we have some effects where we can write that out. And I can,
yes, little rainbow from SpongeBob.
Yeah, okay, our lower thirds.
Yes, but C plus MM plus SK, which is character plus mindset plus specialized knowledge. Put that in parentheses. Multiply that by directed action, right? And then divide all of that by obstacles. And the name of the book is called Sidestepping, which is about how to overcome obstacles. That's what the book is about.
It's on Amazon. Buy it.
Yep, it's on Amazon. Please buy it. I got 4 kids. Got two of them are in private school.
No, please buy that book.
All money goes to them going to private school because it goes to me.
Love that.
But at the end of the day, that gives you your results. And so your character part, a lot of people will have great character. A lot of people will have a good mindset, or a bad character, bad mindset. But what people normally are missing is that SK, right? Which is specialized knowledge. Like even if you have a great character, right? So you're a great person, you honor your commitments, you're loyal, you do all this stuff, you have a great mindset, you're focused, you're determined, you got hustle, you have all these things. Specialized knowledge is that thing that lets you actually have something to do to apply that character and mindset to. You have to put those together. And then the directed action is, okay, now that you have those things, you have the mindset, you have this. I know you probably know people that listen to, E.T. the hip hop preacher or somebody like that, like 50 times, but they don't do nothing.
They do nothing.
They don't do nothing, but they be listening
in
to
their ear. Do it. That's it.
and they don't do nothing.
Do nothing.
They might even do actions, but they're not directed.
Yeah.
Like they don't have like a roadmap, a plan to say like, do this, do this, do this, do this, do that. Right. Yeah. So you need that directed action, but you can't, but all those things need to be together. You can't get to the end goal without that. But then there's still going to be obstacles that you may not be able to control. That some that you can control, some that you can't control that are just there. You have to be mindful of them. So you have to know how to. So what you're trying to do to become successful is you're trying to take the obstacles at the bottom and shrink those obstacles as much as you can, and then do enough action, on the things that are on, applying your character, your mindset, your knowledge to something to get a result. And that's what's going to equal your results. So,
That's like good information. I can't wait to like apply that to my life. Like I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna write a whole little map out.
Yeah.
Because I know
Step one, buying the book.
Buy the
link
book.
the Amazon link down here.
Okay, no, for real. This was like great information. Great information. You unpacked a lot. Probably scared a few of us, but
it's not scary.
Survive.
We have the tools now. We have the tools, we have the knowledge, and we can apply them.
Right? So we shouldn't be scared because we have the tools and the knowledge, right?
Exactly.
Yes,
that's what we're going to be going over. Yep.
Yes. So that concludes season 2, episode 1. Here with Big Papa Code.
In the flesh.
Okay. On Deeper Than Code. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
Check me. It's deeper than code.